right? All kinds of flavors, all kinds of styles to accommodate all kinds of riding and riders. Let's get on topic. Hey everybody, it's Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and I'm a Clerks fan, and by the way, I'm the butch, and he's my bitch.
Aww, I didn't see that coming.
Right? God, man, where could you get this type of entertainment? It's not only informative, but entertaining as well. No, but in all seriously, guys, welcome back to another episode of Toolbox Topics. I'm your host, Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and I'm with my co-host, Brandon Van Leuven. Brandon, how you doing?
I'm insulted.
Really? Did you honestly think you'd be the
really.
butch? No, okay, you know. Maybe next week we'll dress as stormtroopers. Just kidding. If you guys are Clerks fans, you totally get that. Or Jay and Silent Bob, actually, more importantly, for that one. So anyways, guys, so yes, we're going to talk about pedals today. Brandon, we got a lot of different pedals to show everybody.
Sure do.
From your clipless style, that's also more of a mountain biking pedal, stamp-faced, egg beater style, road style. We've got some shoes. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Man, pedals, just like everything else, and the shoes that people wear for cycling in general have come a long way, Brandon.
I think so too. And you said it perfectly. It is a different flavor for every person.
Not to be confused with those kind of flavors for different people. Different strokes for different folks, guys. Yeah. Joking.
But, yeah, they all have these are all kind of like cooking knives, like I like to say.
Right.
Each one has a specific purpose.
Absolutely.
And, they're designed exactly for that purpose.
Absolutely. So, and we also have some footwear, and then we've got cleats,
Examples of
basically.
cleats, yes.
Yeah, that are going to go with that. So let's get started. So this is going to be the most basic of basic pedals right here, Brandon. And this is actually what was referred to as a clip pedal, even though it uses straps.
This is where most of us started.
Right? You guys remember the older guys, and it would sit there and flip, and you'd have to try to get your foot in there and adjust it and everything like that. So what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of this style of pedal? And do people even still use this pedal anymore?
People still use that pedal.
Okay.
Funny enough.
Right? Jesus.
I mean, back when we didn't know any better, when there weren't clipless pedals,
Right.
This was the best alternative. This is something we could get some leverage in. We didn't. We weren't as concerned about slipping off the pedals.
Right.
And we could, strap those straps super tight
Right,
and be able to pull up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was a huge benefit at the time.
Right. And please, guys, don't be gross when we talk about pulling and pushing. It's related to cycling, not what you guys are
I
thinking.
don't think anybody else was.
You know what? They were. If they're watching this show, they were our kind of people. So yes, so this is basically really where it all started, to be able to pull the pedal on the upstroke as you're pushing down, as far as on the downstroke.
And it was great for the time. The one thing was, when you did crash in those things and you had them cinched up,
Oh yeah.
you weren't getting out of that
No,
bike, and
you
the bike went with you everywhere.
And when I first started, I did have a set of pedals like this, and I actually kept this a little bit on the loose side, just to give me that flexibility and everything like that, which kind of negates why you would have these in the first place, but still.
You could always still put your toe into it,
Yeah.
for climbing and get a little security.
Right.
So, and like you were saying, there's people still feel comfortable with those today, and nothing wrong with that.
There is. They need to stop watching a freaking TV with a CRT tube and get with a flat screen OLED generation. So
Fast forward.
fast forward. All right, so then we have our more traditional style road pedal.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much, the evolution. We're going to kind of hopefully go on a logical thing.
Right.
So this was the evolution. You went to a clipless pedal. This is actually made by Shimano, but you had look. You had time pedals.
Speed
really,
play,
yeah.
and we do have an example of speed play to bust out in a little bit.
Right.
But you're right. Road was the first. The road category was the first one to come out with a true clipless pedal like this.
Yeah, and you would use this style cleat, Okay, so everybody could see that. We'll go ahead and put that in there. Hopefully that's in focus. And you would use this style shoe.
This style shoe.
Oh, that's the mountain biking shoe. See, they all look at Brandon with his fancy shoes. Yes, this style shoe, you can see the mounting plate and everything like that. And we'll show that, you know. And you had adjustability, not only forward and back, but lateral adjustability. And you wanted this to be on the ball of your foot to get that maximum leverage.
Absolutely.
A lot of mistake that beginning riders make with the cleats is they'll actually have this adjusted wrong. And so it's either uncomfortable for them or they're losing energy in that transfer because of that. Now this has adjustability on the tension. I don't know if you guys can see. Maybe I'll try to zoom in after the fact. So this way, it would give you can either clip out really easy or it's going to hold you into place. So
I would say most people just starting out will start it very easy, but that also leads to the possibility of maybe if you're feeling a little saucy, you want to get after it, you could pop out of that pedal.
You could.
As you get better, you start cinching that thing towards the higher tension side.
Or you're just like me and you leave it loose all the time because, again, I'm Crash Davis essentially. Crash Davis, Crash Bandicoot, however you want to call it. And then from, the roadies started infecting the mountain bikers. And so what you had, we went to that. So now what you have is a clipless pedal for the mountain bikes. And this is, again, a Shimano pedal, which, and their MTB cleat style pretty much defined clipless pedals for mountain biking.
I think they still dominate the market too. We still sell more Shimano clipless pedals than anything else.
Right, and it's the SPD, is that what
SPD?
it is?
Correct.
Yeah, SPD. And you're going to use this style of cleat for everybody to see. And you will use this style of shoe. Hey, there we go. I got it right. So
allowing the cleat to be recessed into the sole, so it has walkability and some versatility.
And shoes vary too. And we'll get to the shoe because I have another set of pedals that are my personal pedals that I ride on the 920. But you could see very similar style. It has that exaggerated. If you're flat and you're walking, you're kind of canted a little bit. I used to refer to it as the duck walk. How you'd have to walk. Try going into Circle K with one of these sons of bitches on your feet and not sliding around on the tile. So this is basically where the evolution came into the mountain biking. But the original ones were just massive and chunky and everything. Yeah. Bulletproof though, built like tanks. I know I've gone through a couple pairs. So, and then we have the evolution even further. And I had an example that I didn't bring, unfortunately, but Brandon was great. He has this one. This is going to be more of a traditional fat pedal that has the SPD recessed in. So you can see if you miss your clip in, you can still get that traction.
And this is kind of the movement from a performance application to something more for the everyday rider. Even people that don't race or want to get really, put a lot into their pedal stroke, they can still get an advantage by something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the set that I used, which I no longer use, was a stamp face, which I have an example that we'll be showing here in a moment, but it had a recessed clip design on both sides.
Right.
So no matter what, but you had the advantage of a stamp face. This is a little bit smaller.
I'd say this one's more for your commuter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a gravel rider even.
And then you had Crank Brothers come on the scene.
Yep.
And they came up with...
Oh, that's Speed Play.
Speed Play. But it's a lollipop design.
Yes.
Yes. Crank Brothers got the egg beater. My bad.
That's right.
So again, we can almost go back to the last episode where I said I was actually the talent because I was the funny one.
Oh.
He's got the brain though. Sometimes, not all the time. He's got his moments. Yeah. So, so this is Speed Play and this is a lollipop, and you can see it's very, very tiny, very minimalist as far as that goes. What style cleat?
That's kind of the trade-off. The cleat on this is enormous compared to the Shimano cleat. I wish I had an example to show you, but it's probably
We'll
almost
put a link down below.
Twice as thick and about the same size, but probably twice as thick as these. But the nice advantage to the Speed Play, those people that have issues with knee problems, these provide the most amount of float before disengagement. So it's very forgiving on the joints.
Right. Yeah, so what you're gaining on the pedal, you're losing on the shoe, basically. You got
a little bit.
Tank on your foot. So here's a generic stamp face. Now this is made by Crank Brothers. And there's so many different companies that make
for sure.
these variety of pedals and everything like that. But as you can see, and yeah, mine's been put through the ringer. Ain't no doubt about it.
That's a nice pedal. It's got a lot of surface area.
Yep.
It's very low profile. And that's kind of what people are going for, especially around Arizona, where we have these rocks, and we're always bashing them against rocks. So
Yeah,
the more clearance we can get, the better on the flats.
Yeah, and you could see the rock strikes. Just the Arizona trails are brutal as far as that goes. And you can see I've worn down my spikes here, which I'll be lucky if I'm able to even spin those out, 'cause some of them are really torched.
I think those are in there.
Yeah. Those are done. Eventually these will get replaced. Now, the other style pedal that I was talking about that had the clipless has it on both the top and the bottom, and they weren't made by Crank Brothers. Crank Brothers makes a set like that. These are just called the mallets, I believe, as far as the stamp face. But yes, again, it doesn't get any more simple than this. Now, for that, you wear a shoe that doesn't have a cleat at all. So it's just going to be a regular shoe, although you could wear if you had clipless pedals and just wanted to have one shoe. Now, I don't wear a mountain biking shoe. It's not categorized as a mountain biking shoe. This shoe is actually made by Oboz. It's a hiking shoe because I tend to do a lot of hiking biking. The trails I ride, are really rough, and God, there's a lot of times where I have to push the bike, and I'd rather have something that's a little bit heavier but more comfortable and sturdy on my foot. And as you can see, I don't know, maybe it sits flat. So if I'm hiking up a summit or literally, putting the bike up and everything, this is going to offer me the most amount of traction and the most comfortability, or as far as comfort on my foot. So there's that.
Got to get the shot.
Yeah, got to get the shot. And then we have an egg beater style. Now this is a Crank Brothers pedal, and they make one like this. I'm going to hold that down. That is like this, but it's just the egg beater portion as far as that goes. Now, Crank Brothers, again, they make a great pedal. This one's, fairly fancy, magnesium cage. It's ultra lightweight, titanium spindles. Yes, I'm that guy sometimes. And the cleat is just a little bit different, as you can see, from the SPD cleat. And they make it out of brass. Unfortunately, it's a wearable item. So you will have to replace those. And even you can see is this style shoe, this is made for gravel riders. It's very flat, it wears like a regular shoe. You can wear this for mountain biking as well. But this combination is the combination I use on my 920, my bike packing bike. So offers a lot of flexibility. Again, you can adjust the tension on these and everything.
Yeah. And if I may add another,
yeah.
If you don't have the cage surrounding it, 4 points of engagement is pretty nice when you're out there in technical stuff.
Right.
You just got to put your foot down and it's going in.
Yeah.
In one of those. One thing we do see, because it's a little bit lighter in the build there, sometimes if you smash that against a rock, you're going to lose 2 points of engagement, this one and that one, if that one gets smashed.
Right.
But that's all right.
Pros and cons on everything,
Of
guys.
course, and that's what we want.
I don't think they'd ever actually, well, it'd be cool. Maybe they make a perfect pedal or something like that. So, but yeah, so, I mean, as you can see, just from, what we've shown you, there's such a variety in styles to choose from for a variety of different riders. Now, I wouldn't be so presumptuous as to tell you that you shouldn't wear clipless out on the trails. For a while, I wore clipless on the trails, but the type of terrain that I ride, predominantly, it wasn't conducive,
Sure.
Just as fast as and experienced as I am as clipping out. There were some times where it was like, not fast enough, So this is why I wear a stamp face. So if I need to bail and let that bike fly, I'm not going with it. So,
Absolutely.
But, you see different riders are going to ride different things. And there's different people that have, a couple different bikes, but they have multiple pedals depending on what they're actually riding that day for what they used. I would use a clipless stamp face if I were riding, say, Pemberton, which isn't that technical. It's very fast, and where that, would be to your advantage. But something like Sedona, a hiking bike, no, you're just asking for a bad time as far as that goes. So, Brandon, did we miss anything today?
One thing I'd like to say before we take off, cleat placement. We talked about that a little bit.
Right.
I would say probably 99 out of 100 people, you can just center this cleat up on there and they'll be just fine. I want to make a point of saying that if you develop any troubles with your knees or your ankles after you've started clipping in, there is a professional fit that can be done for that. It's fairly inexpensive.
Now, is that something that you guys offer here?
We do offer that here at most bike shops that have a fitting service. We'll give you that option as well. Once again, they're inexpensive, and they will base that fit off of a couple of things, your metatarsal arches, and then also kind of the fitter will look at how you stand naturally and base it off of that. So if you do develop issues, there's so many advantages to being clipped in, and we hate to see people go back after not being clipped in. So there are options. If you're having trouble, get a fit done. That could make a world of difference.
Funny side note, I was supposed to get a bike fitment done. Still waiting on that. Exactly. But when that day actually comes, folks, we're going to do a whole series on it. So stay tuned for that. Maybe before the 4th of July. You might actually see that, so.
That'll be some good footage.
It will be some good footage if we ever get it, so. No, guys, on a serious note though. So, there's gonna be links down below to a majority of this stuff, and probably just the different styles, not every single pedal, and some links to the different shoes that you can purchase to go along with your pedals, as well as replacement parts and cleats. There's also going to be a link down below to Trek Bicycles West Phoenix. So if you have any additional questions, you can call this guy.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Or any of the guys down here, Kale, Wyatt, Cole. They're all super good dudes, and they will be more than happy to assist you getting you into what you need and what's going to work best for you. So,
yeah.
Is there anything else we're missing, Brandon? I think that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
You know?
That was a lot of information.
Yeah, a lot of information. I mean, it took a while for Brandon to get used to the fact that I like to spoon and cuddle afterwards, but, you know.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
Just gotta take it.
Around. He did take it. No, joking. He sure did. Anyways, guys, on a serious note, we appreciate you watching. We appreciate you coming back. It lets us know that we're doing something right. Who knows? Maybe we're not, and you just got nothing better to do. But either way, we'd love to hear from you down in the comments section below. So definitely let us know how we're doing, something that maybe you'd like to see on a future toolbox topic. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, as well as the ding-a-ling-a-ling button, so that way when a new video posts, you'll be made aware and you won't be the last kid on the street to see all the cool new action going down. Not that there's really a whole lot of action here, but you get what I'm saying. So guys, what do I always say? Be kind to yourself and others, be amazing stewards on the trail, and we gotta ask, what are you waiting for? Get out Arizona. We'll see you on the next adventure. Brandon, thanks so much for coming again today. We'll see you guys again.